Hi Rolly, I'm about to mark your CPE essay, and I might make this into a video for lots of students to help others out there who are doing the CPE exam. So I found the question on a couple of different websites, this website and this website. I'm not sure which one it came from first, but yeah, I've written it down here, and then I'm going to, as usual, you've got your original answer, and then I'll make my corrections on this one, and then I will put my marks on the marking criteria here and summarize it at the end and send you this document. So let's crack on and have a look at the question. It says, write an essay summarizing and evaluating the key points from both texts, okay, which is this text and this text down here. Use your own words throughout as far as possible, and include your own ideas in your answers. Yeah, okay, so when I'm doing this, depends if I'm doing a computer exam or a paper exam, but I like to underline the important words, what I need to do. So I need to summarize and evaluate the key points, use my own words, include my own ideas. Okay. So, let's read the first text. Teenagers as consumers. It is virtually impossible to escape the influence of the media these days, and particularly if you are a teenager with access not just to television and radio, but also the internet at all times of the day and night. Okay. Advertisers look upon teenagers as a blank canvas whose tastes and needs are there to be moulded by them through their advertisements. Advertisers and marketing people have become adept at reading the teenage mind, making young people believe that they need to own certain items in order to be accepted by their peer group or simply to look cool. Okay, so that's the first text. The second text, teenagers, a driving force. Advertising responds to young people's delight in what is new by developing sophisticated and innovative, often humorous advertisements, which can be seen on television and cinema screens and on billboards. Around our towns and cities. The tastes of this generation of young people have had an impact on advertisers worldwide. However, it is the energy of young people above all that has influenced the world of marketing and has kept it on its toes, pushing the creative boundaries to become almost an art form. This is the power of young people. Okay, so let's dive in and have a look at your answer now then. I'll quickly remind ourselves of the question. So summarize and evaluate the key points, use our own ideas. Okay. So young people and advertising. Okay, so that's the title that you've given this essay, young people and advertising. Advertising is thought to be the bête noire. Okay, nice. So bête noire is quite an uncommon word, so I'll put it into good language, bête noire. And media is rife with commercial interest. That's also quite, it's good language, that. This word particularly furtive, it's not a well-known word, so add it in here. Good vocabulary, that's what I'll put as my note for now. Commercial interest, and there is a tangible fear that advertising might interfere with young people's mental and physical development. Yeah. However, whether advertising, we put is here. Whether advertising is solely harmful for viewers or not is open to debate. Okay, so let's have a look and see if that matches what these texts are saying. So we've basically, in this introduction, we're saying that furtive commercial interest, which means companies well, there's a lot of commercial interest and they want it to be kind of hidden. Advertising might not be very good for young people, might interfere with their development, but maybe it's not just harmful. Just going back to these, so teenagers as consumers, yeah, Okay, it's not really talking about this. Advertising response to means delight. Yeah, okay, so I'm thinking like, I'm unsure where this introduction is leading. It doesn't really talk about many of the ideas in the two passages, so but let's see, let's continue and see where it goes. So, never have we witnessed such a technological change, and there is little surprise to you that social media is the most conducive platform to spread advertisements. Yeah, so this is what we call inversion, which is nice. Nice to see that grammar. Never have we. Some more complex grammatical structures are evident. For example, inversion. Such a technological change, and there is little to surprise you. There is little surprise to you that social media is the most conducive platform to spread advertisements. Okay, yeah. I'd probably say, and it is little surprise to you. That's the more common thing that we would say is, and it is little surprise to you that social media is the more conducive platform to spread advertisements. And maybe I would remove to you, just say, there is little surprise that social media makes it a bit less formal, which is probably a bit less informal, which is probably better for an essay. It is mainly the relentless exposure to media that contributes digital nomads to easily fall into clever marketing ploy. Okay. It's mainly the relentless exposure to media that contributes digital nomads. Okay, it's interesting that you're introducing the idea of digital nomads, which means people who travel, work online and travel, rather than just digital workers, I suppose. There's a difference between people who work online and people who work online and travel. So that might be worth pointing out, but an examiner might not pay much to, although the word nomad means a traveller, so yeah, maybe it's better to say something as an alternative to digital nomads. You could say it's mainly the relentless exposure to media that contributes to those who work online to easily fall into clever marketing ploy. Yep, so you need to put an article here into a clever marketing ploy or clever marketing ploys. Plural, probably better. They tend to buy products in a desultory manner, suggested by subliminal advertising messages, not massages, but messages. Yeah, okay. I think these two ideas in these sentences are different though, because firstly you're talking about digital nomads easily fall into. Okay, so you're not actually talking about people who start working as a marketing person. You're talking about people who fool consumers. You're talking about consumers. So I would probably say that digital consumers to easily fall into clever marketing ploys, and it's the consumers that tend to buy products in a desultory manner, suggested by subliminal advertising messages. Yeah, so let's change this word, I think, to consumers. And probably I would say that contributes to digital consumers easily falling, like this. Easily falling into clever marketing ploys. They tend to buy products and sell treatment. Okay, Here we go. It is often thought that an adolescent... This is a nice structure as well. It is often thought that an adolescent person is a tabula rasa who acquires knowledge through experience from the surrounding environment. To all intents and purposes, are tender years akin to a moulding clay at a master's hand? Yeah. Our tender years maybe is a little bit informal, and I'd probably put the word are akin. Those years are akin to a moulding clay at a master's hand. Yeah. Moulding clay, is that the words that we used in the question? Moulded, okay. To taste and moulded by themselves. Yeah, so obviously we're talking about this part of the question, so that's good. Suffice it to say that unscrupulous, yeah, okay. I can remove this. Google suggests we can remove this comment. Suffice it to say that unscrupulous and avaricious business people are able to take advantage of their innocence. Yep, okay. Moreover, peer pressure plays an essential role in teenagers' shopping preference. Yeah, shopping preferences probably. Take sartorial choice, for example. They are inclined to dress in order to blend into a certain group. I'll read that again. Take sartorial choice, for example. They are inclined to dress in order to blend into a certain group. Okay, when the fad passes out, passes out. Because that's it. It passes. When the fad passes out, third person. Consumers banish the old one to the murky attic. Yep, the old one's probably plural. So there's a few things here with plurals. We need to be careful of this. It's happened a couple times. Okay. So let's do it. Grammar. Some grammatical errors. Spelling mistake. For example, not using plural nouns when they are required. Okay. It's the type of thing that's going to make it not a 5 in the language category. Not a CPE, anyway. Okay, so I just want to quickly read this paragraph again in my head and then see if it matches what the question or what the text is saying. See if I can relate the two. Okay, so we're talking about digital consumers generally, and we're talking about teenagers and how it's a moulding clay for how they're susceptible to advertising, and then we're talking about peer pressure playing an essential role in shopping preferences. So let's have a look up here. Text: teenagers as consumers. Probably seems like that as a title is the most applicable to this paragraph. It's virtually impossible to. Yes, so we're talking about this. That's good. So we're summarizing and evaluating the key points. Yeah, I was kind of agreeing with it. Yeah, summarizing it and agreeing with it. Include your own ideas. which I think you have done. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so you do talk about peer pressure. What I would maybe do is try and link it. So this part where we start talking about peer pressure playing an essential role in teenagers' preferences, it's not obviously connected to the advertising people doing this. So if you could add in the fact that this is related to advertising in some way, that would make it better. Nice linking word here. So I'm going to make some comments about that. Would probably be communicative achievement. The first main paragraph does summarize and evaluate some of the main ideas from the first text. It could be improved by tying the peer pressure comments more closely with the idea of advertising. But it's not a bad paragraph, so at the moment I'm thinking 3. For language, maybe 3 as well. Let's see how it continues. Also organisation, so we've got some. This bigger. There is evidence of linking words and phrases which are used effectively. Yeah, I do mainly thinking about this word "moreover" here. It would be more effective, as I said, if we could link it, well, obviously to advertising. Okay, so having said that, should have the article here. I think that's another problem with articles. There are also problems with the use of articles and the. A whole host of reasons why advertising can be beneficial for audiences or an audience. Okay, actually, just before I continue, I want to see if that first paragraph relates at all to the second text. So advertising responds to young people's delight in what is new by developing sophisticated and innovative. Okay, so this hasn't really been discussed, which is going to be interesting to see if it's discussed in this next paragraph. So, movie-like scenes are usually interspersed with creative plots, which can raise awareness about some urgent issues among citizens. Okay. I presume maybe, I guess we're talking about television adverts here. Or little quick video adverts online, maybe. Which can raise awareness about some urgent issues among citizens, such as social equity and environmental protection. Okay. In addition to this, nice. So having said that, in addition to this, I'm not sure I would start a paragraph with having said that. It might be better to have it in the middle of a paragraph. But it's good. They're good linking words and phrases anyway. Street advertising is able to, should I have the word "to" here, embellish the monotonous grey building blocks, okay, and the humorous slogans can cheer up knackered commuters. Knackered is quite an informal word, a bit too informal for an essay. So let's put something down here. Simple and complex vocabulary. However, some of the words and phrases are a little informal for an essay. For example, knackered. Actually, what I'd do is separate this idea. Okay. Can cheer up knackered commuters. Furthermore, it will come as no surprise to you that media can influence young people and vice versa. Okay. The proverbial trailblazing ideas and enormous vitality of the youthful mind invariably moved the world ahead. Yeah, it's good language. Marketing industry makes no exception. Yeah, okay, I would add the article. The marketing industry. Or marketing industries, plural, but I think the marketing industry makes more sense. The marketing industry makes no exception. Okay. The most popular advertisements are the concoction of spectacular visual storytelling and memorable slogans. We can safely say that you can find many young, precocious young heads. Okay, so if we're saying young after, we don't need to say it here. Many precocious young heads behind these projects. Okay, so again, it's a little bit informal. If we could remove some of the words you to make it less personal and more impersonal, that would be better. I'm not quite sure precocious is the right word to use here. I could use a different word. Okay, so let's see if this then is more similar to the second text. So we're talking about media influencing young people and vice versa. The youthful mind can affect advertising, and I think that is more similar to this. So second text: teenagers are driving force. Advertising response to young people's delight in what's new, often humorous advertisements, which can be seen on television, cinema screens, and on billboards. Yep. I don't think it's so much talking about humour, but adverts, but you're talking about other types of adverts, but that's fine. It's kind of disagreeing, but also summarising what it's saying, I suppose. Evaluating whether it's, yeah. So you're evaluating this passage, which is good. The tastes of this generation of young people have had an impact on advertisers worldwide. However, it is the energy of the young above all that has influenced the world of marketing and has kept us on its toes, pushing the creative boundaries to become almost an art form. That is the power of young people. Yeah, good. Okay, so yeah, I think that you summarise and evaluate that second paragraph quite nicely. So in terms of content, I'm going to add this actually into content because this is more like content. And what I said here about community achievement, the first main paragraph could be improved by tying, yeah, okay, so summarise and evaluate some of the main ideas from the first text. The second main paragraph also summarises and evaluates the second text. Yeah, to a good level, I think. Yeah, this has been done to a good level, and the author's own ideas have also been incorporated throughout. So I think it's good enough, I would say, in terms of content. I'm going to give it a 3 for now, and then I'm going to quickly check the conclusion. So in conclusion, since advertising has best ridden the digital realm, entertainment and marketing purposes are inextricably linked with each other. Notwithstanding the negative connotation of advertising, it can be advantageous. Yeah, maybe I would make connotations plural. A lot of young people are actively involved involved in probably. A lot of young people are actively involved in making advertisements. Yeah, okay. So, what I'm wondering is the conclusion and the introduction good enough, close enough? And summarizing, for example, the passages and introducing the passages of what you are saying, your paragraphs rather. Is it doing them justice? And I think probably it is, yeah, because you're saying about negative connotations and you're talking about them being advantageous, and that's kind of similar to this talking about some of the negative connotations and this talking about some of the ways it's advantageous. Yeah. So, summarize, evaluate key points, use your own words throughout as far as possible, include your own ideas in your answers. And then a quick look at the introduction again. Media is rife with furtive commercial interest, and there is a tangible fear that advertising might interfere with young people's mental and physical development. I think this may be interfering with mental and physical development. Does it talk about that in there? Yeah, I'm not sure it really is saying that here. But then I guess it's your idea, right? This one. That advertising might interfere with young people's mental and physical development. Solely harmful or not is open to debate. Yeah, okay. Okay, and then do you back this up talking about mental and physical development throughout? Consumers falling for marketing ploys. Take advantage of them. Yeah, so I think maybe this could be a bit better in terms of not necessarily specifically talking about the mental and physical development of people, but possibly their choices as consumers, which is a slightly different idea to their mental and physical development. If you are going to say people's mental and physical development, I feel like it needs to be a bit more closely answered in the meat of the passage. So yeah, maybe I would change that a little bit. That would come under content. Some parts, in fact, that's probably a bit more closely related to the communicative achievement, making your ideas flow throughout. So I'll add it in here. So the second main paragraph has a nice flow to it, from what I remember. And the conclusion also summarizes the main ideas, the author and the passage's main ideas effectively. The introduction could be tied a little more closely to the main ideas throughout with slightly different language being used. Okay. But I still think it's probably good enough to get a 3. I'm sort of stuck between 2 and 3, but I think I'm going to give it a 3. The language, however, I think I'm probably going to knock down to 2 because there's just a few too many mistakes, like this one here, where you've actually repeated the word, the articles. Yeah, I can see a fair number of things which have changed. So unfortunately, I'm going to knock that down to 2. But the organisation is also good, I would say. and I'd probably give that a 3. So the overall answer is clearly separated and well organized, with separate paragraphs dealing with the texts in a logical order. So I think that's good. I think the communicative achievement is good. I think the content is good, or at least I think they're all probably good enough. And then if we could knock that language up just a few little mistakes, fewer, to get that into a 3, then you're en route for a pass there. So yeah, I think this is the best one you've done so far from what I remember. 3, 6, 9, 11, and really not far off. And if you got an examiner on a good day, maybe you would get a pass. Okay, so yeah, good job, well done. And I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If I do put it on YouTube, then for those viewers out there, feel free to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Help my channel grow and help more students like you find my work. Thank you very much. I've been Cambridge English teacher Rory, or Cambridge Rory from studentlanguages.com. Adios.